Welcome to another image breakdown. Today we're going to dive into how your shooting position, meaning where you stand and choose to frame your scene, can significantly elevate your final photograph. Let's get into it. So this photograph was taken at a real wedding. This was shot in Cuba back in 2018 or 19. And I wanted to discuss this image with you because I think this could have easily been just a mediocre photograph. So let me give you some context. So if you've ever shot a wedding, do you ever get people come up to you and say, hey, look, come over here. I really like this spot here. I really like this area. And that often happens, and they're trying to be helpful, or they're giving you some ideas, which is great. Oftentimes, when people suggest a little garden, it often looks what I like to call an ankle garden. Okay, that means all the plants literally go up to the ankle. What people fail to look at is what chaos is going on behind, okay, this garden. Now, in this specific example here, we could have put our subjects right in here. We had a nice background, but just to illustrate the point that sometimes we're obsessed with all this stuff and we often forget to check the background and see what's going on. So this was kind of the case in this scenario. So if you look at this, this is kind of an atrium in a hotel. So let's look at the top view of this building. So a bit of a rectangular building or a square building with the middle open, right? So this is open to the air, to the sun, and right here in the middle is where we have all those plants. So I ended up thinking, you know what, we can shoot this ankle garden and have all these walls behind us, or I can go somewhere else. And luckily, because we're in an atrium, there is hallways, I was able to position myself on the third story balcony and look over. So as I'm looking down over here, I am seeing, down below, I'm seeing those green plants, and I'm obviously looking down at them. And so here's what works. If you look at composition, let's look at rule of thirds real quick. You can see that they're off to the side, and that's great because this gives us a chance for all this negative space, right? Our eye has a place to explore, and we have an area of interest, which is the bride and her dress. So she's the brightest part of the image, and that's naturally where our eye would go. What I really like about this image as well is that I've created some movement. So imagine this without any movement. So the dress would likely just kind of sit here, and they would just be standing there. Now, this is also something that, just not to taste for me, I've seen these images of that bird's eye view where people are laying down at the bottom of something, a bridge, mountains, whatever it is, and it just kind of reminds me of that chalk outline. So again, I'm not trying to poke fun, I'm not criticizing other people's work, and there's some really great images that come out of those types of things, just not for me. So I wanted to create some movement while still maintaining that top-down view. So what we have is the bride grabbing her dress, gives her something to do. Now, what really completes the shot is that leg stretching out, looking for a footing, right? That's what really gets this image to that next level. What we have going for ourselves again is her sandals are quite nice, lovely little design there. And one very important aspect too, that I asked them specifically to look down. So it actually looks like they're looking where they're going to step. So it makes it look really real. Another real thing about this is if you look at this hand, they're clutching each other's hands. That finger is about to lose blood circulation, okay? So this is legit. He's really trying to hold up the bride and make sure she doesn't fall over as she's looking for her footing. Another thing too with the heads down, I like the fact that there are no noses peeking out. Imagine there's these little top views of noses. It would just not really... I definitely encourage you to explore wherever you're at. Just have a look around, see if there's a different vantage point. Imagine everything was taken from standing position with the camera right at our eye level. Very boring, right? So we really have to try to find ways to make this work. The lighting here was from all the way from that skylight. It seems to be coming from sort of the top right corner of the frame. If you look at the legs, for example, and the shadow, there is a shadow side on this side. with light coming in here. Similarly to the top of his jacket, there's light coming in here, and then there's shadow on this side. Similarly to her arm and shoulders here, there's shadow over here, right? So there is a bit of direction, which is great, so it's not so flat. I think overall it's a compelling image. I love the greenery. I love how they stand out right away. And so let me know what you would do differently. If there's something that sticks out that you would have if you were on my shoulder as I was taking this, what suggestions would you made? So thanks again for checking it out, and I'll see you guys on the next image breakdown.